Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Oh, hello. Hi. I'm at work right now at editing the podcast and realizing that the audio might be a little up and down between me and Ryan this week. And because we record on Zoom, it's a little weird. So I just want to warn you about that. I know about it. Also, I had to record on my phone, so I don't think it'll ever happen again. But yeah, anyway, have a great day. Enjoy your life. Stay classy. Okay, bye. P.S. I'm on my lunch break. I'm not working during work. Hello.
Hello, we're live.
We're live. I'm on my cellular device today.
Yeah.
Um, because I accidentally used 40 gigs of data in 2 days. We don't know how, still, but we're trying not to.
Woo.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see if the recording was what did it. Um,
Yeah, this will be a
because
good trial to see.
Yeah. P.S. This is not an ad by any means, but T-Mobile has a new app for I don't know that they're trying to push, and it's actually pretty good. And it can show you how much data you're using, but it also has coupons, which I found out today. You can get a free Slurpee. So,
A T-Mobile sponsored Slurpee.
I mean, but then it was like you have to download this app, and I was like, fuck that, not doing that shit. So, yeah,
Because the T-Mobile does it. I know we were looking for like hotspot and cellular. Does it give it all that
yeah,
on your plan?
yeah. Apparently, Verizon made it so that you have to pay extra for hotspots now.
Oh,
But T-Mobile you don't. And I had and they you get 40 gigs of hotspot for free and then it like slows down significantly and
40 gigs for the month, right?
yeah, and when it says it slows down significantly, can confirm.
It's like going from like 5G or to 3G or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
I
So,
remember back in the day when the iPhones were early days and you just
oh
started,
yeah.
they were advertising 3G. 3G was the shit.
Mhm.
Then they got 4G, and then they got 5G, now they got LTE. I don't know
I'm
what the next thing's
convinced
gonna be, but
I'm convinced it's the same speed. There's just less people or like more people. So it's like the G's, the five, it just means hey, we can handle a billion more people.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know the telecommunications side of the G's and the LTEs and all that.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, that's
How
good.
are
It sounds
you?
the quality sounds good. So,
Good. I will say that when we cut each other off like we do because sometimes we don't know that somebody might be done talking or what have you. I will say that Zoom does kind of glitch a little because when I was listening back to our recording, I was like, ah, bummer. I wish Zoom had an option to not do that, you know?
yeah, I mean, it's probably just doing its best to figure out what to do. But
Dude, it's doing its best, just like the rest of us.
I mean, honestly, the pros of not having the background noise is way bit more beneficial to what,
I,
the alternatives. So,
I agree. And learning how to not cut each other off is also a pro.
yeah,
Yeah.
just timing. Did you see that Microsoft is officially sunsetting Skype?
What is sunsetting? Does that mean they're getting rid of it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
You call that in the tech terms, you call it end of life. EOL, sunsetting,
Wow.
end of life.
Hot damn.
Finally getting rid of it. I don't know how many years it said, but I saw some news about Microsoft, finally getting rid of it. I
Damn.
think it's like in uh what is it? Acquired Skype in 2011. Microsoft acquired it. March let's see. Original release date August of 2003.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's older than some of the people that listen to us.
It says it will retire Skype in May and some shift some of its services to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams has been a thing for a while. It's kind of like their Zoom competitor. It's also got chat enabled with it. We've had that for work before. It's pretty, it's all right. I mean, all those different
It's
Slack
all
and
right.
Teams and all those things have the different pros and cons. What is that? Is that like a
It's a
toiletry
makeup
bag?
bag. It's a
Oh,
makeup
makeup
bag
bag.
that's a frog, but it's a it's a marker bag for me. But
Oh, okay.
I figured I haven't done art in like a while because it's been rough. Um, and I was like, you know what? I'm sitting at this desk. I'm on the phone. I can't like, putz around on my phone while you're talking. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do
I mean, you
this.
usually keep your hands busy. I mean, it looks good that you don't have all these. I can't see a bunch of compression things and tapes and all that stuff on your hands, so
Yeah.
that seems like a good sign.
My
You're
hands
not
are
laying
doing,
in bed, so
yeah, my hands are doing much better. Much better. Um, it's been a fucking whirlwind, but I'm pretty positive that I'm, I'm pretty positive that my left hand got fixed by me hoisting up a kiln frame and it wigging out my arm and then it wigged it out into place. I'm pretty sure that
what?
happened. I'm pretty sure that happened. Um, okay,
As long as it's
so
feeling better.
yeah, it is feeling better. So here's what happened. Here's what happened. Uh, so on Saturday, Preston's the guy who owns the studio that I'm at, and he called James, who's not my brother James. He called James, who's his assistant, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to you want to help me out tomorrow?" And he was like, "I can't. I have stuff to do, and like house stuff." And it was Sunday, and I was like standing across from him, and I was like, "I'll do it. I'll help you."
You didn't
Like
even know what it was. You're just like, I'll help.
no, I didn't know what it was, and I'm like at a deficit with Preston. Like I owe him so much. Like he's bailed me out of this fucking land twice. He gave me a studio. He's letting me live on his fucking land. Like I owe him so much. And so I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Hey, maybe this will help me, it's not transactional by any means, but I feel like helping him is
Right.
and so he called me and he was like, "Okay, well, do you want to help tomorrow?" I was like, "Well, maybe. Tell me what you need." He's like, "I have to go to Seagrove, which is apparently a pretty big pottery place in North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an hour and a half away from here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
It's
to,
just outside of Asheville, right?
yeah, no, other way,
Oh,
Ashboro."
Asheboro.
Yeah. And he was like, and I'm helping this lady, Donna Craven, helping Donna Craven, fix her kiln. The, the dome on the top or whatever it's called, the curve thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was like a square almost. So it wasn't like this. It was there, like slumped, and like it wasn't domey. It wasn't a half
Okay.
circle anymore. It
They had to
was
kind of rebuild the arch.
the arch, that's what it's called. Yes, the arch. So he didn't rebuild the arch, but he re-supported the arch. So he built a frame and then put it inside the arch, hoisted it up,
Mm-hmm.
and then welded supports on the side. And I helped cut all the angle iron and drill holes in it, and then he welded it. And then we took the frame out and he was like, "Hey Donna, do you want to put this up in the fucking rafters?" It took three of us to get it out of the kiln, by the way. And
Put
I
what
was
in the rafters?
the arch form that he made that was like 300 pounds. And
Oh, just
it
to
was
keep it, just in case that needs to be reinforced again.
right because it's already made.
Wow. Okay.
And And she was like, okay, yeah, that sounds good. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like looking, okay, Donna's not a large lady, okay? And she's very tiny. And I am large, but also tiny. And Preston is the only viably capable human being, okay, to lift a
Mm-hmm.
300-pound arch to the ceiling. And so we get like a thing of ropes. Like we got rope, and then we didn't get a pulley, but we got like hooks and stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
the first rope didn't work out. And he's like, you got to brace it. And this is like, Preston can do anything. He's like a fucking superhero. He was
Yeah.
also a Boy Scout. So, like, he knows how to knot the knots and all the shit. And, so we got a new rope. We hoisted it up to the ceiling. I almost fucking dropped it on him. He was like on top of a ladder, like pushing it up. And I was like, this is awful. This is awful. But my arm got like messed up, but it messed up right.
Okay. That's kind of like you get, I don't know, like they say you like kick by a horse, your eyes go across, you get kicked again, you're back to
It
normal.
fixes
That's
it.
off the,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
I
off
was,
Christmas
like,
vacation.
why couldn't that have happened to the right hand?
You got to go back and do something else to fix the right hand.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's who I should do for my maker of the moment.
The person that you've fixed the kiln for.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Add it
But
to the list or do that today and then save your other one.
yeah. But
Why
I
did
was
it
gonna
have to go in the rafters though? Why couldn't it have just been stored on site somewhere that was out of the way?
there wasn't enough space. It needed to be not wet.
Oh, okay.
Do you see
Gotcha.
this?
Yeah, that's cool. Is that slip dot dimpled?
I think so.
Okay.
And then she salt fires.
Okay.
Not soda fires, she salt fires.
Yeah, I've never salt fired before. It's kind of a
And
similar process, but instead of putting baking soda and that kind of stuff at the end, you put salt,
table salt. Yeah.
table salt.
And
Yep.
so she actually gave this to me for helping work, which is good because I didn't want to charge Preston anyway, and this gave me an excuse not to charge him. Um,
Yeah.
and then he didn't charge her, obviously. But then she was like, I was like, can we trade? And so I'm gonna make her a cup. Uh,
Cool.
but it was, yeah, it was really great, and she was really cool. She's like probably in her 60s, and her partner, wife partner, they both do it kind of. Her partner does all the dots, and yeah, she has this big old kiln. Then she has a groundhog kiln, and she's got like a little shop like just right up there. And she says that she gets most of her sales just from people showing up. So I don't know if she has an
Sweet.
Instagram. She doesn't even have a cell phone. I know she has a Facebook, but
Nice. A ground. I just had to Google what a groundhog kiln was.
yeah, I had to ask what it was. Um,
Hmm. I mean, it doesn't really look that much different than like an onigama or something, like just a
I asked
wood-fired
if it was an
kiln.
onigama. I think it's just shorter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, onigama might just be a more groundhog kiln, onigama kiln.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then we got home really late and I got super car sick on the way back. And that was fun. And also I told Preston that the only way I would help him is if I could take a shower at either his house or his mom's house, who lives across the street, because I was going to take a shower on Sunday, but I knew I wasn't going to be there while the fitness center was open if I had to go with him. So,
Mm-hmm.
got a nice warm shower. That
That
was nice.
sounds good. Nice and refreshing.
Yeah.
Can't beat a good shower.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
It looks like maybe the only, I mean, the basic differences I'm seeing is an onigama is like a stair step sort of thing up the kiln instead of being like a flat
Oh,
a flat
yeah, that
area
makes
where you
sense.
load it. So I don't know. That seems like the simplest views that I'm seeing differences of. But yeah.
The amount that I am learning about things that I never really wanted to learn about, but here I am learning about them, and all the things that you would want to learn about. Like, if you were in my position, you'd be like freaking the fuck out because of how many things I'm learning about atmospheric firing.
Hmm.
But
Have
here
you
I
done
am,
some with them yet? With Preston?
not
Okay.
yet. Not yet. They have a big old kiln going in May. I'm not motivated enough to get big stuff out. And like, I got to use cone 10 clay, which he has it. I could use it, but
Hmm.
you know,
Probably just get like 5 pieces or something made and see what they look
yeah,
like.
yeah, I might.
Or
We'll see.
just watch and see how it goes.
Yeah, I definitely want to go. Like, I don't want to not participate, but I don't necessarily care if I have any pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can get a lot of enjoyment with the whole process of loading and unloading and the
Yeah.
firing. Like you're still part of it, whether you have pieces in the end or not. So,
Yeah, and now that I have a real job, I can't be there for the whole thing anyway. So,
yeah.
but as Preston did say, he was like, "You're lucky. You can just go and camp." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't have to."
Yeah. Yeah, if you have pieces in, generally you sign up for like a 4 hour shift, or I don't know how long the firing is, but usually you sign up for a shift and you kind of split it with everybody that's got work in the kiln, and it's a community effort.
So, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that. How are you doing?
Doing well. I've had my first show of the year this past weekend. I did the Kentucky Crafted Market. So that is the 3 day show. It's got the wholesale at the beginning on the first day, and then it's got the 2 retail days. So last year was the first year I did it ever. So I got into Kentucky Craft in 2023. It's like a Kentucky Crafted program members only that does it. Besides, there's a few guest members that can be invited. Like Deanna was able to
Yes.
do it because she's an Indiana artisan.
They branch it out to Indiana if they don't have enough people from Kentucky or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I think there's normally about 15 or so guest spots,
Yeah.
something like that. There's another member from the Clay Lines here, the iLifts, that have been doing it for a few years as well. So like they're down here. They live in Cincinnati, so they're not technically in the Kentucky Crafted program, but um yeah, it was a good show. I didn't know what to expect. I was feeling like I feel like buyer sentiment these days has been feeling like it's tighter on the pocketbooks, so and with the
Yeah.
uncertainty of economy and things like that, so I felt like it wasn't going to be great, but I sold $4,300 for the retail side, which was $300 less than last year. So pretty like on par, honestly.
Yeah.
And I did increase some prices on most things by $2 or $3.
Okay.
So I was probably kind of like right on par. It would have been a lot worse, I guess, if my price, well, I don't know. It probably would have been pretty close regardless. But, and then the wholesale day, it's nice because I'm able to communicate with wholesalers that I already have before the show and I delivered 2 orders wholesale and then one other like commission order while I was there. So it was a whole bunch of oil bottles and mugs that I delivered. And then I got 2 reorders from existing wholesalers there
Good.
with I think the potential of probably 2 or 3 new clients.
Nice.
So I have a bunch of business cards here. I got a goal on my calendar to draft up some emails and reach out to these people so that I can, make contact and, see what kind of options we got. So hopefully we can get some new orders. I wouldn't mind growing the wholesale by, a couple different clients.
Yeah. That's
So I was
great.
I was pretty happy about that. The wholesale day is a little weird because it's like it's pretty slow generally. It's only wholesale on Friday. Like no, and they have to register before, so it's not like people just walking in off the street, walking around.
In my experience, that's kind of how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta just kind of, chat with people and see what they're interested in. See what I mean, they do have name badges, so it is kind of nice to just, you can find their name, see where they're at, see what business or what area of the state or wherever they're coming from. So kind of build some good connections. And usually it's like one or two people. Some crews come as like five or six people that come from different businesses. That'll be a whole group that are picking up orders or photographing new stuff. So, uh, yeah, so that was the show this weekend. I don't have another show until we get to Spring Fair, so I don't have another one until May. So that's pretty nice. I'm kind of in making still, kind of building up some stock. I kind of like I like this break at this time of year because it still gives me plenty of time to decide what I need to make more of and restock on. So I was kind of because usually I'll like look at what I sold at this past year and try to make sure I have enough stock. I probably could have brought more mugs this time. Probably could have brought a few more like sponge holders, but like I didn't know. I sold like all but two sponge holders. I sold 10 sponge holders. I was like, what the heck? Like these,
Sponge holders are hot, man.
like what the hell? And it could have been that they were at the front of the booth, kind of on the shelving in a certain spot where people noticed them, but I was not expecting that. And sold like 16 soup bowls. I think I sold five last year.
Damn.
So it was pretty surprising on some of the items that sold, but I think a lot of it has to do with what is in the areas of, you know, like that was like right at the soup bowls were right at eye level, and I had a whole bunch of them in the area. So yeah, it could be like where it's at in the booth, what's focal.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are two pretty like good items that you have too, though.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and actually having the sponges there, I think the last 3 months or so of the year, I actually had some sponges that I could put out with it, so it kind of reduces those questions of what the hell is that.
Oh yeah, the sponges sell everything.
So it was pretty easy for that, but yeah, I've kind of on the I even sold a big vase, like a carved vase
Wow.
for 165. I just bumped the price up of those. Those were 150 before, and I brought three with me. I bumped them up to 165. And I sold one of them, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And
Nice.
I just made some vases yesterday, so we'll get some underglaze on them and carve them up soon. But but yeah, so that's what's been going on most recently. The only other thing is I tried a new shelving unit at the show. So I got that from an old Clay Alliance member that had used them for years and they were getting rid of some stuff. I think they had some flooding in their basement and they were trying to clean out some different things and it gave them an opportunity to clean out their studio and I got the shelving unit for free. So it was just needed a little cleanup, but it's just kind of it's like wood shelves. They're like polyurethane sort of, and then it's got black. It's like a hand built kind of like not two by fours, but like one by fours maybe or one by some
One by twos.
one by two by twos or something like that.
One by threes or one by twos. Yeah.
I don't think it's a one by. I think they're two by twos or two. Yeah, something like that. They're a little smaller than a two by four, and they were yeah, so they worked out really well. I'm gonna try it at my next couple shows. The next one's gonna be outdoor, so I'll be able to try it on concrete, and then the one after that's gonna be on grass. So it's kind of a nice little adjusting over time of what I need to work on with the ground not being level, or maybe having some wind or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think they looked a lot better, and I took some new photos of the booth, so I'm gonna try to apply to a couple shows with that new booth photo. It looked a little bit more. There's more negative space in the booth. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So hopefully because I got some comments on. I don't know if I told you this. I got waitlisted for the Broad Ripple show in Indianapolis, but they actually like sent the jurors comments, which is nice. Normally the shows don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were talking about, there's a little too much in the booth or, have some more vertical space or I can't remember exactly, but basically there were at least a couple comments that were talking about the booth clutter, quote unquote. I don't know if they said clutter, but that's kind of the way I took it. So I'm hoping these new photos will help. And yeah, but feeling pretty good otherwise with the first show of the year.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I
How's
got
the we
sick yesterday.
You did?
I
I was gonna
did.
ask how the wheel stuff's been going.
Oh yeah, nobody here knows.
Well, I think you mentioned it that you were gonna start on it.
No, I didn't. We didn't do a podcast then.
I thought you mentioned it 2 weeks ago that you were gonna start the week after about the wheels. You didn't actually have any days that you did it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, the wheels are great. I really like the wheels. I I really enjoy working in that type of stuff. Also, it helps that like you know, am around pottery wheels regardless. So, I know that Renzo is the guy who's teach like he's been doing the wheels for like 20 years almost. And they brought him out from California when they bought the company. So,
Mm-hmm.
um and he's pretty funny. And and I okay, so before I like even got hired at Speedball, I didn't really know how the wheels were made, because like there's no question that they have a pretty, it's a pretty comparable price. And when they're that comparable, you're like, oh, the quality's not as good, That's
How
what
many
you.
wheels do they have for people that don't know, or the
So they have the Artista, which is the portable wheel, which I've always heard was amazing. Before I worked there, before I got sponsored by them, like I've always heard it was great.
yeah.
Um,
That's a like tabletop, doesn't need
yeah,
legs. You can attach legs. It's kind of comparable to like a Shimpo Aspire.
yeah. And then they have the Clay Boss, they have the Big Boss, they have the Big Boss Elite, and I think that's it.
Okay.
And I'm still not like super familiar with the wheels. Like if you gave me a test, I probably would not pass it. You know,
Yeah. We're not
um,
calling out like how many horsepower does the Elite have or
no,
something.
but so, uh,
The Clay
so
Boss
anyway,
is what most people are familiar with. That's probably the
yeah,
standard one that most people or is the most popular.
yeah. And I asked Kelly before this because I didn't want to be like, is there anything I can't say on the podcast? And she's like, I don't think so. I think that you're pretty good. I mean, I was really because I'd always assumed that they like got them from China. I mean, they say they're made in China. That's no like um secret. But technically, I mean, like, there's a lot of work that happens to them in the United States. Is all
Like
I
a Is that like a made in China, assembled in North Carolina kind of thing?
kind of situation. Yeah. So like, all of the parts are made in China, but like, so you get the frame and the wheel head's already on it. The belt's not on it. The motor's not on it. The pedal's not on it. So you have to harness the pedal. So you have to put the things on the pedal. You have to put the
You have to
control board.
assemble the whole pedal together?
Well, no, just put the like fuses on the connectors on it.
Oh,
Um,
to wire it to
yeah, to wire it to it.
motor and stuff.
So yeah,
Okay.
and then you like attach the motor, you attach the belt, you attach the control board, you attach the pedal, like you do all of that stuff. And Renzo is like super, I'm not gonna say passionate because it's a job. But like he's super particular. He's very like you have to do it right, you know?
Takes
He's
pride in
very
his work, is what it sounds like.
He does. He does take pride in his work, and he's a quality over quantity type of person, and he just cares that it's right and that you hit your numbers, and yeah, and it's been really fun to kind of like learn all that stuff. Uh, they're heavy. They're heavy,
Mm-hmm.
but um, he helps me with the last box, and then the big the big boss and stuff. Those two, you have to have two people to lift it up. But yeah, I like it's a lot more focused. But I do like going out to the regular area and still doing like production. But it's so much easier on my hands to do the wheels, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so I'm pretty stoked about it, and I think they're excited about me doing it because I know what I'm doing. I mean, like I know what I'm doing in the sense of like I know what is right and what's not, you know.
Hmm.
So
I mean, a lot of this is probably being able to take direction, rinse
yeah,
and repeat, and not be prone to like mistakes as
yeah,
or notice what looks right and what doesn't look right and doing
yeah.
it at a reasonable pace.
Right, like and don't get me wrong, I'm making mistakes. Mistakes have been made.
Hmm.
Like today, I had to put all of the not the pigtails, but the little connectors onto the pedals, and I made them too long, so I had to redo a whole box of 20 of them. And which wasn't that big of an issue. I just had to loosen them and tighten them back up. But then, like a week ago, I was packing up all of the clay bosses that we did, and I accidentally forgot to put one of the set of legs in. And so I had to go through all of the boxes and then find the box with no
Shit.
legs and put the legs in.
Oh, because
And
they're not already assembled in those boxes. You gotta add the legs after the fact.
well, there's like the clay boss has legs that are adjustable and they like are two parts, and then the bigger ones have single legs that have like adjustable little feet. But yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, it's just like really fucking cool to learn all that stuff. Also to like be able to say like, yeah, I'm doing pottery wheels, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting. And I don't know, maybe it's a long term thing, you know? Don't know
Well,
for
it's
sure, but
well, I mean, it sounds like your hands are in a better state.
yeah, they're in a much better state, and I get health insurance soon, so that'll be good. And yeah, yeah,
Sweet.
I'm excited about it. It's I also feel like it. I feel more pride. I know I'm gonna have more pride when I go to Ensika.
Oh yeah, because you know everything of how that stuff comes to be.
Yeah, because I'll be like, yeah, I made that. Like I
Hmm.
assembled that, you know. So
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I definitely know I'll have more pride. But yeah. So that makes me a little bit more excited about Ensika.
Were you all packing up a specific pallet or pallets dedicated for Insika yet?
Megan did. I don't know if she's put everything in the palette, but
Okay.
I
I didn't know
added
if y'all
mine.
were like, make sure we set aside this for Insika so we can
Yeah, I don't know. I know they have like extras on hand, so I wonder if they just like pulled. So the ones from Ensika, I'm sure that I didn't assemble, but um, yeah,
Okay. Because they sell those like at Insika.
yeah, they have three. They'll have the Big Boss. No, they have four. They'll have the Big Boss Elite, the Clay Boss, and the no
Artista.
Artista. Maybe they'll only have three. I don't know if they'll have the Elite or not. So
There's one that's got all the tabletops.
I think that's the Elite.
Okay. I feel like I normally see that because they can actually spread out some of the demo pieces on them.
Yeah,
So I've seen it at Insika before, but
I think that's the Elite. Like I said, don't give me a test yet, but I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And Renzo said he's even been to like China to like check quality control and stuff like that, and like we've
Wow.
been testing a motor because something, and like yeah, it's just really cool. Like there's a lot of care. There's a lot of care that goes into it, and it's like been a one to two man operation for like 20 years. So Renzo's like,
It's one of those things that you don't want to lose that person because
yeah,
they know too much.
yeah, 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 for sure. I was thinking about that. I'm like, God damn it! If he like died or if he got in a wreck or whatever, we'd be fucking screwed. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's most places. You don't want to have one single point of failure if something were to happen. That's
yeah,
just
and
like if
that's
you get sick in your business, if you're the only one that are
yeah,
able to do anything, then
yeah, and that's why I think that's why they like wanted somebody to go in there. So, and it makes sense. I'm here for it.
yeah.
I'm
That's,
always
he
here
deserves
for
vacation sometimes. He doesn't need to be like, all right,
right.
we
And I
don't
mean,
need your wheels this week, so you should take a vacation this week. Like,
yeah, like he's been there for like 20 years, so I'm sure he gets like a bunch of vacation. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Whew. All right. So you'll be demoing it in Sika. I'll be demoing at Speedball with Erica at Ensika on Friday.
Yep.
I'll be demoing at Kentucky Mudworks as well. Well, I think they're probably going to be labeled as Dirty Girl Pottery Tools, but leave, demoing with them. We're going to see our friends L and L there. Kiln Shelf will be there.
All the peeps.
All the peeps. And if you all did not know yet, we've been talking about it for a few weeks. But L and L, they're giving away a kiln. They're giving away 2 kilns at the K through 12 exhibit, but they're specifically giving away a plug and fire at their booth. So you all should sign up for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be the 508 is their booth number. Get over there, sign up. All you got to do is just, give them your email, phone number maybe. I don't know if you got to be present to win, but it says they're going to create a special landing page. I still need to I don't know that I've seen that on their website for it, but it's going to have all the details about it. Besides that, they're doing the plug and fire giveaway for a teacher and a student at the K through 12, and it told us to tell you to vote for your favorite work at that exhibit. I don't know if that determines who's going to win the kilns or not, but probably get you to get in the exhibit. And then they have some other kilns on site that you can buy. I don't know if they've already been sold or not, but if you're still thinking about it, if you're on the fence, you should reach out to them before you go. And they have exclusive show discounts for 3 different kilns that are going to be there. They got 2 easy fire ones and 1 production level. So they've got the E18S3, which is a 240 volt single phase. That one's there. I feel like I gotta look this up every time. I think it's about 3.5 cubic feet or
Yep.
3 cubic feet.
3. It's like, yeah, I think it's actually 2.5 or 2.8.
Yeah. So it's just about 3 cubic feet. Kind of that small kiln. It's a good, kind of intro kiln if you're doing a little bit more than like a plug and fire size. And then the next size is their most popular. It is the E23T3 240 volt single phase. That's the one that I have. That's the one that I got at Ensika in 2023. That's your 7 cubic foot, good size for if you're doing a bunch of wheel throwing, if you're, you got a community studio or, you want to fire it regularly.
Yep.
So that's your 7 cubic foot one. And then they've got the production level E2827E Quad Pro Series. This is your 10 cubic foot kiln. So bigger kiln, more production level. If you got a bigger studio or you're producing a lot of bigger pots or something like that, you might want something this size. And all of these go to Cone 10. They got the Genesis controller, all that fancy stuff, all the other good stuff that each L&L has with the multiple thermocouples and all that good stuff. So if you do want to reach out to them to pre-order before you get to Ensika, you can reach out at sales@hotkilns.com. You can email them and secure that kiln before it's gone. And when you call, make sure you mention Wheel Talk. They would love to hear that, and I'm sure we would love for them to know that as well. So
I'll tell you what, I think that like having my kiln during this transitional period of like you know, getting a new job, trying to find a place to live, like being completely, just not in a place, I guess. Like, but having that kiln and being able to fire my own kiln has been really lovely. Like
Yeah.
it's like a familiarity. Like everything else is unfamiliar, and but I can be like, no, 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 I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll fire
Because they
my own
probably
kiln.
assume that you need to have a kiln access or whatever. I mean, maybe you'll ask them for an outlet to plug it in.
Yeah, I asked for an outlet and I pay for the energy, but but yeah, no, it's been just really nice to have something that's familiar.
Yeah, it's kind
And
of like you can go into that space and it's kind of your own dedicated kiln in this spot. It's kind of like people that have their own private studios. And I'm guessing yours is I don't know if yours is a private studio or if you just put it in a spot somewhere that's not.
it doesn't have a door, but it's private.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the door's not done, but it's private.
So yeah, when all you need is an outlet, you know, like
Yeah.
you're not gonna not have an outlet in that space, just like you plug up your wheel or whatever. You just, hey, I got my kiln in here, you know?
Yeah, it's just been nice because there's a lot of things that are not just set in stone,
Hmm.
and that's a
Have you
lot.
rolled it around a little bit with your casters on there?
So, I have um I have, yes, and I do love the casters. Um because yeah, it's because I move it up and down so much. Sometimes it gets bent a little bit, but they sent me a like some extra supports for it, you know?
Yeah.
The yeah, I mean like it was so quick. I was just like, "Hey, you know, I move like it's so much easier to drive with it on the wheels, and I know how much pressure that puts onto something. And I also feel like it's a great way to product test something.
Yeah.
And so it
You're
was
going
easy,
miles and going over speed bumps and
right? And
curbs and
so
all
it
that
was
stuff.
easy for me to be like, "Hey, maybe this needs a little bit more structure," you know? But like on a regular fucking
Yeah.
ground, it's like
Rolling it under a table and out from under a table.
piece of cake, right? But this is like going on a 10-mile hike every time it leaves the house. So,
Right.
um but um but yeah, no, it's I do love the casters. I think they're fantastic, and it's the system that they have it on is so unique. It's a pressure fitted system, so you don't actually have you can like slide them right off if you need to. Um, and it's just really cool the way that they've done it. I never would have thought of something like that ever. So uh, yeah, it's just really cool how they designed it.
Sweet. Yeah, I can see a benefit of people having it on casters roll. I mean, Erica's wheel in here is rolled under the table, but I could see similarly if people have it just a tabletop that they want to like move the kiln out of the way and roll it
Yeah,
underneath somewhere
yeah,
when you're
I
not
was
using it.
going to do that in my studio, and then Preston was like, "Why don't you just put it over by the box?" Which isn't my ideal because I like to not have to walk all the way across someplace, to put my shit in. But he owns the studio, and he was like,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine. And plus, it does free up a little, like a foot of space.
Yeah.
So
Sweet. All
yeah,
right. Well, if people want to go find more about the kilns or what each one of them has, sizing, all that stuff, where do they go?
podkilns.com.
There we go.
Yes.
All right. Do we want to do Maker of the Moment?
Yeah. Um.
All right. I have mine handy. I don't know if you need to search for yours because you were going to look up the other person that you went to visit.
I was gonna look up Donna really quickly, but so I'll do that very quickly.
So mine is going to be Oliver Estes. He is under Estes Ceramics, ESTES. So I think he UNL Ceramics. I'm not sure where that's located. North University of Northern. Nebraska Lincoln. I think it's Nebraska Lincoln. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. So he does soda fired work. I actually
Okay.
found him. I found him
Uh-huh.
through where was it? I was looking at Glazy this pat earlier this week, and that's where I stumbled upon his work. I was looking at some different flashing slips or something, and I stumbled upon his stuff. So he's got a lot of flashing slip work, which has got kind of the it's kind of like the whites to the oranges to the grays a little bit, and it's just a lot of tea bowls, plates, just very simple forms
Those are
with
really pretty.
the atmospheric effects of the soda kiln. So love that look. I'll probably be referring to some of the wadding that he referred to on Glazy. So I think it's mostly cone 10, so it's a
Oh,
little hotter than iFire, but still really nice.
oh my God, my phone is like burning up because it's trying so hard. Um, can you hear that music?
No,
Okay, that's great. Um, it's got music and I don't know how to stop.
you might need to kill Instagram. Is that what you mean? You were pulling up Instagram and you
Yeah, I
can hear
got
the
it.
music from the post or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But yeah, so
So,
Oliver, I believe that's at University of Nebraska at Lincoln, I think is where he goes to school, which I think
okay.
Neil Selaney was there and he did a lot of soda firing. I know some other atmospheric fired pots have been around that campus. I'm not sure who the professor is there, but a lot of cool soda stuff there.
Okay. Yeah, it is very cool. My person, I would like to say that first, I had a great person for today, and then I said it, and then Ryan was like, "That's who Isaac said last week." So I got
It just happened to be. I wonder if you got recommended. It was Nathan
maybe,
Bray. I wonder if you got recommended Nathan from me following him and Isaac following him and
I don't
some.
know.
It's one of those things where it kind of like crosses paths. I mean, we did call him out on Wheel Talk when we did the repost or whatever. So I wonder if that mattered, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I instead am going to do Donna Craven, and that's who I helped with the kiln. And I'm gonna find a picture that is similar to the pot that she gave me so y'all can see it. And I think it's a good picture regardless. Uh oh, it's so cute. So Donna does salt fired pots and she makes giant pots. Like this is a tiny woman. This is a like she is like 5 foot nothing, like maybe 120 pounds. I don't know. She can fit inside the pots that she makes. Like she is tiny. And
Yeah, those are pretty big pots.
yeah, and she's just been potting for like a long time, and she's just like an old school potter, you know? And yeah, it was just like really amazing to meet her. She was super nice and uh like her of the moment.
I like
And
her description on her Instagram. It just says, "I make wood-fired, salt-glazed pottery."
yeah,
Straight up.
she's like a super simple human being. Like she was like, "Yeah, I don't even have a cell phone." Like her partner Susan does the cell phone stuff.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, and she has 3 cats. One of them's name's Oscar and he's just like Lloyd, but he's a tabby. And he's fat. Uh And but she carves a lot of her pots, and she does a lot of design work with like tape and stuff, and it's so beautiful. It's very muted color wise, but I think that just like the like all of the detail in it is so amazing. Like I told her, I was like, I don't like brown pots, but this is really cool.
Yeah,
And
the thing is, it's the atmospheric aspect is going to add some variation to it, but when you've got the tight lines and everything, it doesn't look like it makes you kind of wonder. You're like, is that like it looks that fired, but it's in the wood kiln or whatever, but it's still got
yeah,
that tightness to it.
yeah, and she has these pots. I don't know if you can see them, but they're big old bowl type pots, and then she carves a circle and then does the continuing like circle up and down in like kind of a in like sections, probably like 12 different circles. And they are so stinking cool in person. Like they're giant. And yeah, they're just really cool.
Oh,
Um,
I see what you're talking about. It's kind of like a what do you call that? Not a tessellation. Is that what you call it?
I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea. But they're really cool, and I was just super impressed. And also, I think it's, this is exactly what I was talking about when we started doing this, like finding people that you would never find because like she has 1,400 followers, and this person could throw almost any of us under the water, you know?
Hmm.
Like she's super fucking talented, right? And
Hmm.
like she's a capital P Potter, right?
Yeah.
So and like the fact that like nobody knows who she is, not that she wants to be famous or anything like that, but like the fact that nobody knows who she is, like I think it's a bummer, you know?
She might like it that way to some extent.
I agree. I agree. Like
I
it's
like
not like
the
yeah.
ones that kind of look like bowling pin shaped.
Yeah.
Those are nice forms.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. Yeah, so like that kiln, like she's standing in her kiln with a pot, and the kiln is only like 6 feet tall, and she's like a foot and a half shorter than the kiln. So
Oh wow. Okay, it's hard to tell, yeah, how big the kiln is. And I see that it's if it's the one from
yeah,
April of 2023. Yeah, it's I could see that the arch is kind of
it's not Archie.
not archy. Yeah.
It's
And no
definitely
telling
not
what it
Archie.
is almost 2 years after that.
Yeah. So yeah,
Woo.
it's just really cool. Yep.
Sweet. Okay, so Donna Craven pottery.
And
Sweet.
she has a shop. If you're ever in North Carolina, she has a shop that's in Seagrove. So like you can just go up and like buy stuff.
Okay.
And the shop's like super old school. It's like all wood paneling, just like just like the chiropractor office, but better. So it's like all wood paneling. It's super dark and super cold. And like I had to go to the bathroom, so I went into the bathroom. And the toilet has a padded toilet seat. And
Oh, that's old school right there.
yeah, and the shower in the bathroom had like it's the frosted glass with the flowers on top, you know?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is old school.
Sweet. All right, so that's Donna Craven. Yeah, I would love to see what salt firing or salt. Well, she's doing salt glazing. It says wood fire, but yeah, I'm curious about the salt aspect. All right,
Yeah,
so
I don't know if she does like communal firings. I don't think she does, but she does do openings, like kiln openings.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with where we're at on time, let's do the topic for today. Is that good?
That's great.
All right. So this topic's going to be kind of it's kind of like something that I was scouting out and kind of wrote some notes about before, but it also kind of ties in with a question that we got. So the question that kind of sparked this was from Sean Reed Pottery that reads, "How many markets do you do over Christmas so you don't burn out?" And the kind of way that I was relating it in some aspects was, how do you actually choose your schedule so that you don't overexert yourself with
Yeah.
too much? Um, I tend to lean into a lot of shows, and I also recently had some shows that I didn't get into, which didn't feel great, but I'm having to adjust kind of on the fly and figure out what I'm going to do to fill in those gaps. Um, but but yeah, so that was kind of the start of it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so let's see, do over Christmas. I don't tend to do to answering this question specifically. I don't tend to do many shows in December. I feel like there's not a ton of shows going on in December except maybe the first week or
Yeah,
maybe
they're always in
2 weeks of
November
December.
and like October.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that planning accordingly, I feel like flipping through my list of shows, there's not a ton that I actually apply to at that time of year. Maybe I usually do maybe 2 shows in December. Typically, the first weekend of December is out because my parents have their holiday party, and I can't really do anything that weekend. At least that's uh, not in Louisville. I guess I could do something in Louisville if I had to, but yeah, historically that's like the last weekend where there's shows. I might do another one that's like a farmer's market local to me that's in December, but that's not anything too much to like overexert myself. But if we're talking Christmas related markets, November, stuff like that. Um, I mean, I think sampling the markets to figure out which ones are good for you, because a lot of the holiday markets, I don't know about the ones that you've done, Becca, but the ones that I have around me, there's kind of a variety, like types of markets that are available. There's a lot of them that are like crafty kind of markets that it may be good for holiday shopping, but it's not to the level of most like art shows or fine art and like high craft shows where people appreciate the quality and the price point of
Yeah.
higher priced artists, handmade work. It's more crafty, holiday decor. It's maybe there's some woodcraft and some leather and things like that, but you're not seeing a ton of like painting and photography and things like that. I'm kind of comparing this to sort of like a lot around me are like church craft shows or high school craft shows where indoor they might be like black curtain type shows. Maybe they charge
Yeah.
admission, like winter fairs or holiday markets and stuff like that, where it's not always the most profitable, in my opinion. I haven't done a ton of those. I've maybe done 2 or 3 of those over the years because I'm kind of stick away from them.
I feel like anything that says holiday show is something that I like I'm like, nah, I'm good, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it hurts to try and see,
I
but
think that
I would cater what you're gonna take to them.
yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that like when I go to those shows, I feel like I have to be a holiday person and like I'm not a Christmas person. I'm not an ornament person. I'm not a decorating person. I don't do any of that shit. And
Hmm. You gotta like deck out your booth with holiday decor to
yeah.
fit the theme and the vibe.
And then you just look like you're fucking dummy because you like buy all this shit that you would never use ever. And
Yeah.
then there you are.
I mean, some people love doing that. They love decking out their booths. There's some
And
shows
more
that
power to them. I'm
there's
just
some
saying,
shows I've looked at that are like, you gotta theme your booth. Like, we're looking for you to really, like, we have a level of expectation of booth decor, and we want it to be at this level for our vendors. And it's like when you're expecting the vendors to set the theme, like I don't know, it doesn't
If
provide
I
a
see
return on
that,
investment of the artist, in my opinion, to do that. But maybe to some extent. But
if I'm listen, I'm not a runner by any means, but if I saw that, I would fucking run away. If I saw you have to decorate your booth, fuck you, I'm out. Like, no thank you. No.
I mean, there are a lot of people that make their booths look really, really good, and that's already their theme. That's already how they do their booths.
Yeah, I'm not that person.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, I tend to not like to make holiday themed things as well. I've made ornaments in the past, but I'm not crazy about making something that after that holiday is over, it's basically, you can't sell it until the next
Year.
year, and then it looks dated, and you just want to get rid of it. I mean, maybe you do mystery boxes and get rid of it after the holiday, but I'm not crazy about that kind of themed
Yeah.
product. Just because I feel like some artists feel like it's expected of them that they have to make something holiday themed, or if it's just making mugs and you put holiday themed designs on them. Like if you want to do that, sure, but don't feel like you have to.
I also feel like it should be known that I think that me and Ryan are, or Ryan and I, are a minority in the holiday situation. You think?
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people kind of stick to their guns and they don't make holiday themed items.
Right, but like both of us just don't do holiday. I don't know. There's a lot of people that do holiday. Even if they
Hmm.
don't do a holiday theme, like it's like Kurt did the elephant. It's not even a holiday theme. He just did a fucking elephant. And
Hmm.
then,
He
you
did make
know,
them where they're not necessarily ornaments only, though. They could just be a tabletop. They could just be a
yeah.
shelf decor, which is
I
nice.
think I think that you should shoot for that regardless. That's something you should shoot for regardless. Is something that you can sell.
Something that has multi-purpose is always
Yeah.
better sell in my book.
Yeah. Wait, what were we talking about originally that we got on this topic?
We were talking about how many markets to do over Christmas so you don't burn out.
Oh,
So I was kind of leaning into don't do shows that you feel like you have. Well, one, it ties into don't be making product that you feel like you have to make if you don't feel like making it
yeah.
for those kind of shows. And then be selective of which types of shows you do. So that kind of ties into not overexerting yourself on markets. I'm thinking of the ones that I do around that time that are worth it. Um, I do one that's on Small Business Saturday. It's a West Side Market. It's a show that I've been doing over the years. The West Side Market is one that is a monthly type of show in my city. It's a one day. They do a lot of work to get folks out to the show. They do kind of like swag bags is what they call them. So each artist or vendor has to give 20 free products to include with the swag bags, which get people there first thing in the morning. You could think that's iffy. Do you want to give away stuff? Some people were giving it. I don't think they accept coupons anymore for the giveaway thing. But I think I just have old shot glasses that are small. Or if I had some old ornaments, I would give them the ornaments that are from years past or whatever. You just give them something, and it helps get people there. They give out 200 of them, get people lined up before the show starts. So that one's been pretty good for me. You know, it's relatively cheap to do. I think it's like 150 to do that show, maybe 175.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna say like a really short answer to this question, but then like I think we can elaborate more on it. But in the Christmas time, like when it comes to like holiday shows and stuff, I like to give myself a break like once every 3 to 4 weeks. You know, like maybe skip that weekend so that you can catch up, and then and just like
I like
I
that.
think I think that's the most simple way of doing it. Just once a month, take a week off. Like, that's
Mhm.
it, you know? Or maybe do a show in the middle of the week so you have the weekend, or something to that matter.
Yeah, I actually find that the best shows for me are actually in the fall. They're not right around Christmas.
Yeah.
They're in August, September, October timeframe. Those and people are still thinking about holidays at that time. Like they're still buying at that point for the holidays. I don't I don't think you're necessarily going to get the most return on investment for doing shows that are right before Christmas. I don't think you need to wait that long to be doing like if you can get some and if you need to space it out, maybe you do one at the end of November or the beginning of December and then you do one in like early November. That maybe focus on fewer shows but get your effort in to make the best of those shows. And obviously if you're sampling, you won't exactly know that those are good shows for you yet, but I would sample them and then if you could find a good one, I would say stick with it. If you can do it year after year and just be consistent with it, I think it'll
Yeah.
build on itself and you'll get better and better. I mean, that's with any show, honestly. If you keep doing it over and over, you're going to get better at figuring out, okay, what sold there? What was the most popular product? What were the colors people were most interested in? And you can kind of cater how you organize your booth and what you take to the show so that you have a better return on your investment of being there.
And that helps you not burn out too, because burnout, I think that something that we don't really talk about a lot is that burnout comes when you fail too. Like, comes faster. Not when you fail, but when you maybe expect something, well, yes, when you fail, but when you maybe expect something a little bit more from a certain show and that doesn't provide, and that can happen a lot in the wintertime.
Hmm.
And if you know that you're like going into this show and it's not going to be, it could, it's probably not going to be bad, then because you did it last year, that helps out with the burnout. But I think that there's always going to be a couple years that you're just like, fuck my life, you know?
Especially when you make all this inventory and you hope that it's going to sell and you put all this effort in and if the return doesn't come, then you're like, well, I mean, I guess I got to do something else now. Like, do I throw in another show last minute? I mean, a lot of times you can't react that quickly at that time of year. Like, there's a deadline here. You have a
Yeah.
last day in which you can do sales. Um, and if going the online selling route is more your speed, if that doesn't burn you out as much to say, hey, I'm not going to do 3 shows in the last month of the year. I'm going to do one show and put some stuff online and make it available. And hopefully that, a lot of times the stuff online, it depends on kind of how you run your shop, but as long as I tend to have product available online, it can trickle out. I don't tend to run updates and sell things out and all that, but as long as people know that your work is available, I would hope that it can give you some ease of not feeling like, well, I have to do all this work to get to this show. You just maybe focus that effort into, hey, I'm actually going to prioritize just putting some work online, have it available. People can buy it any day leading up to. They don't have to get to that show that one day and make sure that they can secure their present or whatever. I find that I tend to put some more work online in December because I'm not planning for a show at that time of year.
I feel like, did I want to say I did. I'm not totally positive, but I'm pretty sure that I would do like a shop update like at the beginning of December when I was done with all the shows, so that I was like, fuck, I'm fucking over this shit. I'm not doing anything for the rest of the month. Like, this is it, And like really do a good job at trying to advertise it at least. And like do a story sale or something like that. Make it a discount. Do the fucking mystery boxes. Like, mystery boxes are great for the end of the season. And
Hmm.
also, I think that mystery boxes help you not burn out by like giving you that boost of like, ah, this is fun. It's not like super fucking garbage.
Hmm.
Um,
And you can get rid of some items preemptively that you don't have to wait for the season to be fully over. Like maybe you give a few more ornaments in those mystery box orders because you don't want to have them left over. I would much rather get rid of the ornaments early in December than hold on to them thinking I'm going to sell them and then be left with 20 after Christmas is over
yeah,
or the holidays or whatever your themed ornaments are. Or make them generic enough that they're not. I don't know. Do people put ornaments or tags on other things that aren't
yeah.
Christmas?
I have a yeah, I have an ornament of my van that's on my. I mean, yeah, they do. Sometimes you put them in your car, and
Hmm.
sometimes like yeah, you can just hang it up in your kitchen
Yeah, we
on a
have one
top.
that I don't know that it's an ornament, but it hangs on our doorknob and our front door. It's like a little macrame. It's on like a metal ring and it's like a little macrame design thing.
It's really cute. It's a rainbow.
Yeah, it just hangs on the. Oh, you're talking about on the front of the door. I was talking about the little bitty one that's on the back of the door. It kind of goes over the door handle.
I thought it was a rainbow.
No, it's like a tan macrame, kind of the standard macrame color with maybe some pink in it.
Oh,
But we have one on the front door that's a bigger macrame thing.
it always falls down, but it's a rainbow, so it gets a pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think just also being more, you need to, you'll need to figure out what that balance is for you of when you should be having shows and what time of year works well for you. Because I think that's a good practice regardless, no matter what time of year you're at, not even just Christmas. Because I know sometimes like, if I had another show in 2 weeks, I would be worried about restocking some items. And I try not to be making reactively. There are some items that I am making, from my list that I was like, hey, I need to make more of these after being at the show this past weekend. But I think doing your best to plan ahead for what has sold well and making decisions based on that so that, okay, I feel good now with the amount of mugs I have, but what if I sell half of my mugs at my show? Am I going to be in a bad spot? Or do I have Bisqueware that's ready? So, you know, I, I I think a lot of this goes back to, are you, well, I don't know. I mean, I think that way of planning out Bisqueware, but like, how do other people do it? Would you say a lot of people are reactive to it or they have
uh
more shows than they probably should?
I think that sometimes people do more shows, or maybe they like yeah, they like maybe overextend themselves. I would say the best thing that you can do, I don't know. I mean, the best thing that I always did was do the challenge, like do a little challenge right before Christmas, like right in August, September area, and maybe figure out like what's going to be your bestseller. You know what's going to be your bestseller. It's probably going to be mugs, and just make a few extra. You know, do 100. Do a if 100 is hard for you, do 100 in 2 days. Like do 50 a day for 5 days. And just knock them out so you have them. And that way it releases so much stress, and it really is like a good way to kind of like boost your system. And also I think making lists is really important. um
Feels really accomplishing to check off the list of yeah, planning out, just whiteboard it a little bit. I want to make, how many do I actually need? Do I need 20 oil bottles or do I need, if I need 20, maybe I'll make 30, you know?
yeah,
Put a number up there, make a list of, okay, I need to make 30 oil bottles, I need to make 30 mugs or 50 mugs, need to make 20 soup bowls, maybe 10 sponge holders. whatever.
Yeah. Also, I have something that's really basic and not related to pottery at all, but maybe don't drink. Like if like drinking is a way that you're like you use to like relax or something like that, maybe like I know it sounds stupid, but alcohol can really make the days longer if you feel shitty from the night before. And if you're getting up in age, like, I mean, not super up in age, but I'm like 34 and I can feel like a shot after the day
Mm,
after I've taken it. So maybe like if that's something that affects you, find something that affects you and maybe stop doing it for that time because like when I started working at Speedball, I stopped drinking pretty much altogether. Because I was nervous about waking up at 5 a.m. And now I'm fine, but I still haven't drank a lot. But I'm positive that if I had like gone out to dinner and just had a beer or whatever, I think I slipped up once and I had like a shit ton of wine and I felt like crap the next day. But I'm positive that if I had like continued to drink mediocrely, like I don't drink a lot, but you know, at my normal rate, I would not have done as well as I have. Now I wake up before my
mhm.
alarm and stuff like that. So maybe like, if something is a kryptonite for you, maybe stop it for a month or two, like when you in that really stressful moment.
Yeah, that's a good challenge for yourself too. Yeah, we've kind of made it a point to not drink during the week as
Yeah,
much as possible the last few months. Um, yeah, and only do it on the weekend. Or I mean, maybe if we go on a date or go to an event or something, we might, but
right.
we're not overdoing it. Because I mean, yeah, you want to be at your best, right? So if you're not physically in a good state, one, your brain is probably not going to be in the right state to be working effectively. You're not firing on all cylinders. And then your body probably doesn't feel great either.
Yeah. And I mean like, obviously do whatever you want, but sometimes you don't think about the little things like that, when you're about to do something that might be a little bit out of the ordinary. And like you think that grabbing a beer after work is helping you, but maybe it's actually making you more depressed. Like when I drink beer, I get super depressed because I start drinking like shit tons of beer. I'm feeling like grog down and stuff. But
Hmm.
you never know.
So the other show related thing that I was kind of thinking of in relation to this was I mentioned earlier, or maybe I didn't specifically mention it, but we were talking about shows and planning ahead and when my next shows are and stuff. So I actually had a couple shows that I didn't get into that I had applied to. One of them, Cherokee Triangle, we've talked about that on here. I've been trying to get into that show for like 4 years. I've still yet to get in there. I got waitlisted one year, first year, still haven't got in. And then Summer Fair, I was in last year off the wait list. I did not get in this year. But it kind of put me in a little um kind of like the opposite. What's the opposite of burnout? I was like stressing. I was like not frantic, but I was like going around like, okay, what am I going to do to fill that gap in? Because I don't have that profit potential anymore because that show's not going to be on my calendar. I can't expect that. So what am
Right.
I going to do? You know? Um, well, one, for the long term, I was thinking, well, I need to, take the responsibility of like, hey, my application was probably not as best as it could have been. I've been kind of coasting on the application a little bit the last couple of years with some of these things. And you can't expect that just because you got into a show before that you're going to continue to get in the show if you're not improving and doing things you should be doing
Yep.
to make your applications better. So that's one thing that I think needs to be stated. And then, what do I want to do with those weekends? Do I, one, it doesn't hurt to apply to more than one show, and then it gives you more potential for choosing between them. can you afford to apply to multiple shows? Some of these application fees are 35, $40 a piece. If it's tight to take that risk and get into both and then you have to turn down one, like, that leave that up to you. But I would say some of these I probably could have applied to some other ones. But so I think what I'm going to end up doing, and not everybody has this opportunity, but I might shift and either I- I'm either going to do an extra soda firing personally for like my own work, or I can do a soda fire workshop in place of one of those shows to hopefully make up some of that income.
Mm-hmm.
One of them actually, I might be teaching something over that weekend that could help offset some of that. Another option is to just have a quote unquote free weekend to kind of make up for, possibly an already filled show schedule. Like maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I don't have shows on this weekend because it gives me time to catch up on things that historically I don't have that time to do. So
Right.
we got that. I feel like there was something else. I don't know. I mean, I could always shift to putting more work online or something if I need to, but just seeing where those different levers are that you can adjust when something comes up that you can't, you can kind of plan for it, but you don't expect it's going to happen. But hopefully you can, I mean, obviously I was bummed in the moment, but trying to stay positive enough that you're like, okay, like it's not out of the question that I can't work through it and figure something out. But, okay, this might give you some freedom to choose my own adventure for this.
Yeah.
When historically, like that time of year is pretty tough with shows.
Yeah, I mean like it's not, I mean Christmas time is not easy. Or well, pre-Christmas. I feel like, you know,
Yeah, these are summer shows ish, spring shows, but yeah, if you don't get into something at a crucial time of year, like when these shows are you're relying on them, yeah, you got to figure something else out to
yeah.
hopefully make up for it.
Yeah, for sure. I um oh, I have something. I have something very important. Always, 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 always order extra thermocouple, extra elements, extra relays. Always,
Mm.
always, always have those on hand.
You don't want to be screwed at those time of years when you got to get stuff for shows done.
Because I guarantee you that will add to your stress if that shit isn't taken care of. But if you have everything extra and something goes wrong, you're like, no problem. I've got it.
Hmm. Oh, you could use those weekends to help your studio maintenance stuff if you need to. If you've been putting off like swapping out elements or something else, you could do
Yep.
that. You could restock some glazes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oof. Ugh.
One thing you might not have to do?
What?
You might not have to clean kiln shelves.
That is good. You might have to not have to grind them either.
Yeah, depending on what kiln shelves you have.
Yeah. Especially if you had some Smith Sharp Advancers.
Yeah, some advanced kiln shelves with the silicone, what is it? Silicone carbide,
Yeah.
low porosity shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's an
you might not have to
investment,
do that.
but man, that'll save your ass in a time of need.
Mm-hmm. And your body, not having to lift those heavy shelves.
Yeah. Plus with those ultra lights now that they have. Look.
Advance your ultras.
Yeah.
Y'all can see those at Ensika. They'll have them. They just like showed them for the first time at Ensika last year.
Yeah.
Pretty
Man,
sweet.
I loaded your kiln with one of those, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again. It was like unnerving to put one of those ultralights in the kiln. And like, I know that it's strong enough. You know,
Hmm.
I know it's strong enough, but fuck me, that was light. Like, you could pick it up with one hand. You could set it in there with one hand.
Hmm.
Like, whew, it's
You know, sometimes I
crazy.
notice when I'm loading on top of one of those ultras that, well, they cut some half ones for me because they're still testing the half ones, but I set it on one side and it actually tilts up a little bit on the opposite side because it's so light.
Oh my
And you're like making sure that you load it accordingly so it stays flat and all that. Because
God,
yeah,
it's wild.
it's just so light. But
Yeah. And like being able to just scrape off the glaze, it's so nice.
oh yeah, I've been sharing those. I've got a video that's been picking up steam on Facebook from cleaning my kiln shelves,
Mm-hmm.
and it was from the soda firing. And I just see those comments sometimes. There's a comment that said kiln wash and stilts dot 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 or something like that.
What does that mean?
They were just poking. They were just like, "Hey, you want to solve that problem? Put kiln wash and stilts on there." And it's like for one, I use both. Like I use kiln wash and I use wadding from the soda kiln. So I kind of use both. But I didn't respond, but you know.
Yeah.
But the video also
Um,
showed like scraping them because I was able to
mm-hmm.
clean them off really easily from the soda kiln because it got a
Yeah.
little too hot and ran, but no problem.
I'll tell you what, my I miss my advancers. I had so many advancers and then I sold them to Rebecca because they fit her kiln. And I mean, like, I'm happy for her, but
I wonder if she still has them or still uses them. She still have those kilns?
yeah, I think so. I don't know. I would think so.
Hmm.
But
I mean,
man,
they retain their value for sure.
they definitely retain their value. And like, oh fuck, man, they were so nice. And I wish that I could have, and it was just a situation where like I just didn't get a kiln that was the right size. And I kind of wish that I would have, but then again, I sold it anyway. So I'll probably end up getting a new kiln this in the next couple years. And
Yeah,
it'll finally be an L&L.
there you go.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right,
What?
where do people go to find out about the advancer shelves?
Kilnshelf.com.
There we go.
I need a jingle for Kiln Shelf.
Oh, did you spell it out or something?
No,
No,
that
that's
was
speedball.
Speedball.
We said adventure life or
Oh yeah, advance your life, advance your kiln, kilnshelf.com. Or maybe I don't know what it was, but
something
something
like that.
like that. Yeah,
Ad,
we'll figure it out.
yeah,
We need to write it down.
advance your life, advance your shelves, ad killing shelf. Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
that's good.
remember
That's good. That's good.
because it's
Um,
advance your, but it's kind of like a advancer.
no, yeah, I got it. I got it for
Okay,
sure. Advance your life, advance your shelves. Kilnshelf.com.
go. There we go.
Do they have an actual tagline?
I I don't think so.
Oh, okay. And also, just so you know, they do sell stilts and they sell other shelves as well on kilnshelf.com. So like
Yeah, the
that
post they have kiln wash.
yeah, the posts are even I think we did a cost comparison and they were better than some of the other places that we found. So,
Hmm. They have other shelves that are not the advancers. Yeah, the
no.
kind of conventional silicon carbide. They've got some core light
Yeah.
and high aluminum ones, so those are more for like gas firings and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, they
And a
got a
good time
variety on
to
there.
And just, a good time to plan for buying advancers is like towards the end of the year, before the end of the year, so that you can get that nice old tax write-off. So, you
Assuming you have some profit and you need to offset it.
exactly. Precisely.
And I mean, also some companies will raise their prices the following year. So,
There is that. But I feel like everybody I know who's like bought advancers bought them as a Christmas present to themselves and a
oh,
tax write-off to themselves.
yeah. I think I definitely did the first time I got
You
the
100%
the
did.
three.
Oh, here comes Lloyd.
Yeah, I got them at that time of year. So, ooh,
My poor cat. It is such a hot mess over here. Ah,
I had a question. So this kind of goes back to the market situation. If somebody is, I kind of have some ideas of what I would recommend, but like, let's say you don't really know which markets are good. Like, would you suggest like kind of just throwing a bunch out there and just applying to a bunch and kind of building
yeah,
your schedule up, or is it better to kind of build like sign it, and maybe this is just the level of shows that you're willing to do, like, or sign up for the $300 booth one, the $400 booth ones that are juried, doing an assortment. It's one of those things that like you don't know if you're overexerted until you're overexerted to some extent because you're not sure how those shows are going to do. So,
right. I almost feel like the shitty shows sometimes are better, you know? Like the cheap shows sometimes, especially around Christmas time, tend to be better. I know we kind of talked about this at the beginning how you don't like those shows, but like church shows around Christmas time, Christians give a lot of money to for gifts for church.
yeah, I think it depends on a little bit of like the audience you're in. Like, do you fit in with the other vendor quality and stuff, or are you standing out? Do you like, I don't know. In some ways, it'll benefit you because you're the only one in that is kind of that type of medium, I guess, making that type of work. But to some extent, it could make you feel like, oh, well, like this is not my audience.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that to mix it up, like do some cheap shows, do some expensive shows. But I mean, like a lot of people know what they want and know, like, if it's not your first year showing, you have a few shows under your belt. So you have a few that you like.
Hmm. I think I would tend, if I were to do some of those, I would tend to do the ones that are local to me, that are that
Yeah.
quality or that type of show, just so it's a lower risk. It's close by. It's
Yeah.
also people that are probably already in your area that support you. So it's,
Yeah.
hey, if you want to come get some stuff from me, I'll be at this place. To some extent, I could see it being there may be a little pride in there of like, do I want to be in the like I feel like I'm at this quality of show. Like, does it feel below me to do these type of shows? But I think in some aspects it's just
Right.
like I know a lot of people that do it professionally and they do those shows too. And it's like, if it works for them and they sell and they're happy with the sales, they keep coming back. Like there's a reason they keep coming back. It's profitable for them.
Yeah.
It's not
I
like
mean,
it's a
I used
waste
to
of
do a
time.
1 day show at a church that I made $1,500 minimum in that 1 day show. I mean, that's pretty fucking good.
And some of it is if those shows have been around a long time, even though it may be a little different audience, they just build a following because they're a staple. Like people know that that show is happening that specific weekend because it
Yeah.
always happens that weekend. Um, that's a big benefit.
I would avoid shows at senior centers.
Are there shows? I've never seen a show at a senior center. Have you done one?
Yep. They're not the best, not the worst.
Is that
Definitely not
like
the best.
the residents like go around at it? Is that kind of what you mean? And then the
No,
families of
they're
them come visit?
well, I mean, like, yes, but I mean, other people go to the senior center too, but they just don't have the right reach you need. Because senior centers, like, they cater to a lot of elderly people, and elderly people have enough pots in their cupboards, you know?
Oh, I see that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do like that Fort Thomas Farmers Market one that I do. That's a it's like holiday theme. They do welcome some artists there that you can do
Mm-hmm.
1 week during that time period. They kind of allow some non-farmer regulars to be there and sell. It's not, it's not like a gangbusters show. It's probably 700 or 800 bucks to sell, but compared to like other one day shows that I'll do that are maybe more like 1,500 bucks or something like that. But it's right up the street. It's a Wednesday night for 4 hours. It's indoor, so it's like easy peasy. And yeah, a lot of those different variables make it super easy to just, hey, I'm gonna do this one. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like yeah, why not? I can make room for that. That's not gonna stress me out. I know the people planning it. It's the same people that have been doing it. You see them, once a year probably at that show, and it's super reasonable. I think the price of the booth is like 35 bucks or something. So I think you should mix in a batch of the cheaper shows, cheaper as in like 50 bucks and under option. And this is like throughout the year. I think it doesn't hurt to mix in some of those, especially as you're figuring out which ones are good for you.
Yeah.
Mixing in some of those, maybe some farmers markets. I mean, I guess I would kind of fall in the same group.
I
And,
think that just lessens the load. It's just like, also, if you can just get out of your fucking shell and just hang out with the people around you, like, go to a $50 show. There's literally no stress. It's like, hey, I spent 50 bucks. I need to make 50 bucks. No, I need to make $100. Like, that's what I need, right? Like, if I
yeah.
made $100 and I went home, I'd be like, ah, bummer. Oh well. But like, have fun, walk around, talk to people. Like, don't be a fucking dummy and just sit there and look at your phone the whole time. Like, actually use it as a time to be maybe social in a way that you wouldn't normally, and like
Make
meet
some
your
connections with fellow
yeah,
makers and
meet your community. Like, that stuff's like, go out to eat with people afterwards. Like, make it be a fun event.
hmm
Like, there were shows that, I mean, Ryan knows this. There were shows that I would do not because I made any money. I did the fucking farmers market in Lawrence for like 2 years because it was just a blast. I didn't make
hmm
anything.
yeah.
Like, Earl was next to me, Deanna was next to me. We got cookies and we had fun. Like,
Yeah.
and it just made my day, it made my week a little bit better, and like that, I think those things help you not burn out by incorporating things that are less stress, but also just kind of fun. Like, if there's an event, like, oh, there's a fucking beer fest, like Oktoberfest in Indiana, and if I was in Indiana, I'd do it because it was a load of fun. Did I make a ton of money? No. Did I like buy some fucking Irish cream that was delicious? Absolutely. Like, it was not only an event that I would normally go to, but I got in there for free and I
hmm
also made some money.
One other thing that I think that might help with burnout is, like you're saying, manage your expectations. I think it would also help to uh not take as much inventory is a simple way to do it, but
Mm.
manage how much you actually need to take. Like, take less so it's less work to set up, easier to tear down. You don't have to worry about breaking as much things. Like, you're cutting down the amount of back and forth to the vehicle. Like, that makes the show much easier too. Like, I simplify my booth at some of these shows, because it's like it's generally it's not worth it to do the whole booth setup that I would do for a 2-day show for something where the price point of buyers is going to be lower. So like
Yeah.
simplifying the booth to make it more stress free, and I think that'll cut down on your your energy exerted so that you're kind of in a better spot. I would recommend that for
Yeah.
sure. Cater your booth like a
And
show.
those, if you're really busy during that time too, this is a really good time to like minimize the products that you sell and maybe like take out certain products that maybe just don't sell because spending the time making those while you're like in production mode is not going to work out for you, you know?
Yeah.
And also, if you have the money, get some help with like clay prep or something stupid simple like weighing out clay that will. And you know what, you don't even like they don't even have to do it. Like when I was in Monroe, I had my friend's kid do it at their house. I just dropped off 50 pounds of clay once a week and he did it at his house and then put it back in the bags and then just gave it to me, and I
Hmm.
paid him per bag. So
What'd you pay him per bag? Do you remember?
I have no idea. It was such a long time ago.
Like, what do you think you would do these days? Would you do like $10 a bag?
7.
$7 a bag? Minimum wage, I like it. $7 a bag. No.
No, I mean like a
But
bag's gonna what a bag would take me
it depends. That's the
10
motivator,
minutes.
right?
A
The
bag would
motivator.
take me 10 minutes to weigh out. So I
Oh,
like
true. And a kid's
like
gonna dilly dally. They're gonna take probably 30 minutes to an hour to do a bag or whatever.
yeah, exactly. Like I'm not gonna pay him that much. But also if you want to give him $10, if you want to give him $15, who fucking cares? Like, you
Yeah.
know?
Whatever it's worth to you to offload that work.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be some college student. It can be a 13-year-old. Like somebody who's just trying to make money to buy presents for their parents or or just to make money, you know?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely at the that farmers market one, for instance, I shrink down the inventory a lot. I have the spoon rests, garlic graters, a few mugs, few soup bowls, and oil bottles. I think that's it.
Yeah.
5 products.
Well, also, I mean, this kind of goes without saying, but make sure you have a system getting in and getting out that's consistent. Like make sure you're paying attention what you're loading in and what you're loading out at what time. Like, make sure your tents are, if they're the first thing that comes out of your car, they're the easiest thing to get out of your car. So, like, those type of things are really important for like just your overall stress. And if you can leave it in the car, like if you have a van that you can leave in the car, the stuff in the car all the time, except for maybe the pots, do that. Like loading it in and out every single time, that takes a toll on your
Hmm.
mental health and your physical health. So just
Checklists doesn't hurt that time of
yeah,
year. Make sure because stuff will fall through the cracks. You don't want to forget something big like your money box or something like that.
yeah. Oh yeah, always have like at the beginning of the year, get enough change for the whole year, you know, so that
Yeah,
you
not
don't
having
have
to
to
make a
worry
bank
about
run that
that.
morning or the night before definitely
Oh my
helps.
God, the amount of times I've gone to grocery stores to get change. The amount of times I've put in a $20 bill for a $1 piece of candy, I cannot tell you. The amount of times I've gone to a grocery store and said, "Can I just buy a bunch of grocery bags?" Because I didn't have any bags. The
Oh, yeah.
like,
That I
God.
mean, so much of this is just planning ahead and being, yeah, I don't know. You got to be
I think,
realistic. I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
I really think that's the basis of not burning out during Christmas is plan the fuck ahead. Just plan ahead.
yeah. Make
Like,
sure your bags are all set. Make sure you got your business cards, your Bisqueware that's ready to be glazed, and your thermocouples and your elements in case something goes out. Whew. You know, one fun thing that I did
easy
at this show
peasy.
this past weekend
What?
So I did recently go to the bank and I got $20 worth of $2 bills.
Ooh,
So some people that paid in cash, I gave them some $2 bills back in their change. It was fun.
that's fun.
Some
That's
people were
so
like,
fun.
you know what? I haven't seen a $2 bill in a long time. I like this. And the
That
reason
is
I did
so
it was
fun
because
when
I got a $2 bill from a customer last year, I think, in the winter shows. And I was like, and I held on to it. I still have it down here. And I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna do that this year. I'm gonna get some cash, get some $2 bills, and just kind of divvy them out here and there when people pay in cash, and it's fun.
I love that. Yeah. Oh man, if a kid buys something, you gotta give him a $2 bill.
Yeah, I think one of the parents was showing their kid, and they were like, I have never seen one of those, or
Yeah, like
they were kind
even
of inspecting it.
honestly, if okay, if a kid under the age of 10 came up to me, paid for something, and their change was $1, I'd give them a $2 bill back. I don't give a fuck.
Oh
I
yeah,
would I would definitely do that. I
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, totally worth it.
$2 bills, do that. Bring a little
Hmm.
smile to people's day. Who's gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
Yes. Also snacks. Snacks are my last suggestion for not burning out. Snacks and candy. Snacks and candy. Just put a bag of your favorite type of candy deep, like where you put all your bags, or where you put all your like you like little stuff that you need to always have at your show, and just keep it there,
Love it.
because you never know. Oh, and also for the summer, make sure you have some sort of electrolyte drink on hand all the time, like the either the liquid IVs or a Zip Fizz or a Propel, the powder. That is not only a smart thing to do, but it's good for like first aid. Like if you see somebody struggling or having a heat stroke, you can give them one. It's very. I always have a bunch of them on hand, and they
Hmm.
and they have come in handy. They have helped people not pass out. So that's
And that's
another thing.
easy to just throw in your
Yeah,
money box or your bag of bags.
your bag of bags. And I mean, like, that's not. Oh, here's another thing to. I know this is super simple and stupid, but instead of recycling all of your like packing paper, if you get stressed out easily, just buy a roll of paper. Just
Oh, I definitely do the roll of paper.
I know, but a lot of people just do the recycled, like they'll get newspapers and stuff still. And if that's
Hmm.
something that stresses you out with the mess, just buy the paper. If you don't want to carry around a lot of paper, just get the get taping paper from like a Sherwin-Williams. It's $3.
Oh, I love that. The thin, yeah, it's not quite
Hmm.
thick like craft paper, but it's like masking that you would put over windows if you're painting or
Yeah,
whatever.
and you can get the 12-inch rolls, and it should be plenty. So that's what
Yeah, I
I
love
use.
that.
It's great.
Yeah, that's great. All right, your list is very lengthy. A lot of little tips at the end there.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have anything else. I feel like that
Do you want
was, uh, I didn't have anything. What was that?
Oh, this is off topic, but we sell this pen called an Elegant Writer, and I was packing them, and there was like two pens that got messed up, and so I got to take them home.
What are they gel? Are they what is
They're
it?
just like a Sharpie, but it's gold, and you could do like
Oh,
calligraphy with it. So, see, look,
which part are the gold, the bottom lines?
yeah, those and this.
Okay.
That is so funny. Lloyd just walked in front of me, and
Autumn
fucking
just walked in front
Autumn
too.
did the same thing.
Yeah. She's been walking all over here.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any last words?
I do not. Bring $2 bills.
Bring $2 bills. And yeah.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Record. End. Wait, what? Stop. Stop.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Wheel Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.